Great Pyramid of Khufu, a colossal structure as tall as a modern skyscraper, made from 2.3 million stone blocks, and they built it 4,500 years ago, without cranes, without wheels, without any modern technology. So how did the architects of ancient Egypt accomplish what seems utterly impossible? Even today, transporting millions of tons of material to a construction site would require a massive logistical operation. Yet the Egyptians managed to lift that enormous mass 146 meters high, with incredible speed and precision over 20 years. We've all been told the same story, a gigantic ramp stretching outward. But engineering shows that story doesn't hold up. Such a ramp would have required more stone than the pyramid itself. Building a ramp would have been harder than building the monument. This logical contradiction tells us one thing: the truth is hidden elsewhere. So, how did they really get the stones 146 meters up? The ancient Egyptians hid the answer inside the pyramid itself. This video shatters a legend that lasted thousands of years and reveals the secret plan of the architect Hemiunu. As we just said, the external ramp is a myth. Now, let's examine this claim using numbers and engineering logic. For centuries, the so-called external ramp theory stood unchallenged, but it collapses under two massive problems: scale and logistics. The pyramid rises 146 meters high. To haul 2.5-ton stone blocks, the ramp could be no steeper than 8%. Anything steeper would have made it physically impossible. So, to reach 146 meters at an 8% incline, how long would the ramp need to be? The answer: about 1.8 kilometers. Here lies the real contradiction. Engineering calculations show that building such a ramp would require more material than the pyramid itself. Would they really have built a dirt mound, 2 or even 3 times bigger than the pyramid, just to build the pyramid? This is not architecture, it's a logical absurdity. There's another problem: space. The Giza Plateau simply doesn't have room for such a massive ramp. Nearby quarries and later added cemeteries made it physically impossible, and the most powerful evidence is the absence itself. If such a ramp had existed, it would have left behind debris the size of a second pyramid. Yet, at Giza, there isn't a single trace. Even ancient historians never mentioned a ramp or its remains. All this evidence destroys the classical external ramp theory. The Egyptians erased every trace perfectly. And that tells us something clear: the real construction plan was hidden inside the pyramid. The external ramp myth has collapsed. So, how did the Egyptians transport millions of tons of stone 146 meters high? The key lies in the groundbreaking theory of French architect Jean-Pierre Houdin, and in the pyramid's mysterious internal structure. According to Houdin, Khufu's chief architect, Hemiunu, hid the real construction plan inside the pyramid itself. The theory suggests that the lower third of the pyramid was built using a short external ramp. But as the pyramid grew taller, workers dismantled that ramp and reused the stones to build a spiraling internal ramp, hidden within the pyramid's body. This internal ramp wound inward, along the edges, climbing upward level by level. It was ingenious. No debris outside, and the ramp stones were reused in the upper layers. And we have evidence. Special scans in 1986 detected density variations along the spiral path Houdin described, voids or layers of different material within the pyramid. This is tangible proof supporting the internal ramp theory. But that only explains the limestone blocks. The real engineering nightmare was the 70-ton granite beams of the king's chamber. No wheels, no pulleys, no space. So, how were these massive blocks lifted 60 meters high? The answer lay at the heart of the pyramid: the Grand Gallery. This long, sloped corridor was Hemiunu's greatest masterpiece. According to the theory, the Grand Gallery acted as a gigantic counterweight system. Workers used heavy descending stones to balance and pull the 70-ton granite beams upward, harnessing gravity itself. This system completely reshapes what we thought we knew about Egyptian engineering. All right, now we know how the pyramid was built, but the real question is, who built it? And even more importantly, how was it financed? Here, we must debunk two of history's biggest lies. Hollywood has long shown the same scene: slaves under whips, crowds dragging stones. But archaeology tells a very different story. The pyramids were built by well-fed, respected, and paid Egyptian craftsmen and specialists. Remains found in the workers' villages in Giza show they ate a rich diet of meat, fish, bread, and beer. These were not laborers. They were proud participants in history's greatest construction project. They even called their team the Friends of Khufu. And what about those giant stones? How were millions of tons transported from distant quarries to Giza? For a long time, no one had a definitive answer, until 2024, when researchers discovered a dried-up branch of the Nile River near Giza. This changed everything. Even the heaviest granite blocks were floated by boat, hundreds of kilometers from Aswan, directly to the pyramid's construction site. Ancient writings, known as the Diary of Merer, confirm this waterway, detailing how stones were shipped to Giza. Some researchers go further. It's suggested that hidden water systems beneath the pyramids may have lifted stones with hydraulic elevators. Unproven, yes, but considering Egyptian engineering genius, it doesn't sound impossible. Despite all modern analyses, laser scans, and theories, the Great Pyramid of Khufu still guards its deepest secrets. We think we've solved everything, yet two huge questions remain. The ancient Egyptians were an incredibly organized society. Archaeologists have found tax records and even animal feed receipts from 4,000 years ago. But regarding the pyramid's architectural plan, there is not a single drawing, no sketch, no note, no papyrus. Why did architect Hemiunu hide this information? Or were the plans deliberately concealed? Perhaps the pyramid's perfection came not from a written plan, but from secret knowledge passed orally, from master to apprentice. Yet the greatest mystery lies in the heart of death itself. The pyramid's purpose was to secure Khufu's immortality. Millions of stones, thousands of workers, mobilized for one king's eternal resting place. And in the end, the king's chamber held only an empty granite sarcophagus. No body, no treasure, no trace of Khufu. Was Khufu ever there? Or is a secret tomb still hidden, waiting to be discovered? The Great Pyramid is not just a structure of stone. It is a riddle whispering through time. Every new technology lifts a curtain, but every answer pulls us deeper into a greater mystery. Perhaps that is why the Great Pyramid remains not only ancient Egypt's greatest wonder, but humanity's most enduring secret.